So welcome everybody. This is Stephanie from Hope and Love Radio, and today I have another very special guest, John Huggart, another songwriter. So John, welcome. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, good morning. I'll say good morning to you, Stephanie, because here I am in Australia. So it is Saturday morning here. So welcome and thank you very much for the opportunity to have a chat to you on your show. I wanted to talk about the fact that, yes, I guess as a teenager, I grew up, really inspired by rock and roll and music. So I wanted to become a rock star, and I actually did become an unemployed rock star. So I did actually pursue my music dream, and but wasn't successful. But I did a lot to try, and I recognised what I did, what I did really well, and the things that didn't work for me. And I think songwriting was one of those things that seemed to work pretty well. And that's what I've enjoyed and pursued through, silently for a long time in my life.
What type of music do you do?
Well, that was all rock back then. So I grew up in the 80s in Australia. So that was the environment of AC/DC, In Excess, were the big bands of the time, Cold Chisel. And but I was also inspired by the Beatles. I'd seen a movie called Back to the Beat, and I love that story of how the Beatles emerged from Liverpool and Germany. So it was a kind of mash of all that type of influences. Australian rock and Beatles were the real loves that I had as I was growing, and really did inform the type of music we were playing live around pubs in Sydney, hotels and venues in Sydney, and as well as the music I was writing as well.
Awesome, thank you. What musicians have influenced you?
Well, I think, I just loved, as a musicians, I really loved the Australian sound of the 80s. There was a real rhythm guitar feel that they had at that point of time, where they would mute the strings, and it was created this undertone and the rhythm. And that was people like Rick and John Brewster from the Angels, Malcolm Young from AC/DC. So there was these great rhythm guitarists. John Lennon from the Beatles, another great rhythm guitarist. I'm not a lead guitarist. I can play guitar, and I tend to play rhythm guitar, and really influenced by those players.
Awesome. What genres have you done? What currently are you looking for, like, in the future? Where do you see yourself going?
Yeah, look, I think whilst I grew up with rock and performing a number of rock songs, pop and rock songs,
Okay.
I have done a variety of different genres, some a bit more jazzy influenced, some a bit more acoustic singer-songwriter influenced. So I think in the future, I can see still remaining with this bit of an eclectic feel. It's one of the challenges for me as a songwriter, because I don't have one type of genre and one type of song. So as a result, I call myself as an artist Project Reverb, and Project Reverb works with different artists for the individual songs that I put out.
Awesome, thank you. So what is your creative process like when you write your music?
Look, it's usually a bit of a little hook or a vibe or a feeling in my head, a little rhyme, a little melody and rhyme that will kind of stick with me, and then I might build it out. So that's can often happen in the development of a song. The other development is noodling on the guitar, just playing around the guitar, and then, oh, we'll like that, oh, we'll like that. So that's kind of the other thing. And when it starts from there, then it's about, oh, I like that bit, and then maybe some words that will come from that type of feel of the song at that point in time.
What challenges have you faced as a musician?
My biggest challenge that I faced as a musician is that I can't sing. So, as a songwriter, you want to bring your songs to life. You want to share them. You want to say, "Hey guys, I've written this song." And first of all, I was a drummer. You can see a drum kit in the background here. So,
would you like to demonstrate first? Why not? You can. Go ahead. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I think as a drummer, even though I was a drummer in our first bands, playing all those gigs around Sydney, including that kit. That was the kit that I was playing.
Yeah.
I was a songwriter as well, and I found it really hard to come to a practice and say, "Guys, I've got this new song," and it goes like cha. So I took up the guitar so I could start to express, so I could actually communicate the songs. But the final part of communicating the song is the singing. And as a young person, I believed I could sing. I guess that was a misguided ego, and I thought, oh well, it doesn't sound that great, but in the studio they've got all the tricks, so I'm sure that can make me sound awesome there. But the reality was, as your experience has been, as my experience has been, when you're with a real singer and you see their genuine, real talent, they are absolutely amazing without a microphone, without a studio, without any tricks. And I didn't have that skill. So as a songwriter, it was a real challenge because I thought I could sing, but I couldn't. And that really impacted on my ability to communicate the songs.
How long have you been playing the guitar?
Oh, that'd be over 40 years now. So, yeah, as I say, grew up in the 70s and got the drum kit late 70s. Started picking up the guitar in the early 80s. So, yeah, that's 40 years now or so. One of my friends at the time.
What do you wish you had known when you were first starting out? What do you wish you had known when you were first starting out?
Look, I think it was probably that ego thing about singing. I think if I'd have known that the best thing I can do is support a great song with the writing of it, maybe the percussion, the drums, or the rhythm guitar for it, and then I could leave other people to breathe with the singing and the communication of the song, as well as the instrumentation of the song. I've also grown a great respect for the fact that the song is not the chords G, C, and D, or an A minor. It's what we all love and take away from the song that we hear. Yes, 80% of songs have got the 4-chord set or 3 chords, but it's really sometimes about the instrumentation, about the beautiful notes that are played in between the melodies, sometimes from a lead guitar, of course, other times from a piano. So I think that instrumentation is a really powerful part of any song. And I love collaborating with people who can come up with those beautiful additional layers for a song that make the song memorable and make the song beautiful for how we hear
it. What do you feel has been your biggest accomplishment so far?
Well, I think my biggest accomplishment as a songwriter was being awarded as a finalist in the John Lennon songwriting competition. Now, that's a global competition based out of New York, of course, inspired by John Lennon and sponsored and supported by Yoko Ono to this day. And they invite musicians or songwriters to submit songs for that competition every year. Whilst I was active with my music when I was very young, I've come back to music now that I'm much older and my career is at a different stage. And I was able to invest some time and money getting a few of my songs recorded properly. So it was nice to be able to submit that song and to see it do so well. I submitted it to 5 competitions, that particular song, and it was either a finalist or semi-finalist in 4 of those competitions. So I was very, very excited. That was both locally and in Australia and globally on some competitions as well. So that was a huge accomplishment for me.
That's awesome. Thank you. What do you think has helped you to become a successful songwriter?
I think it's about working with other people. So collaboration is really important, and working with other people has enabled me to bring those songs to life, to hear great voices, to hear great instrumentation, hear great production. So that's been pretty special. That's something I've really only embarked upon in the last few years, again, a couple of years. And that's why I was so excited with that song that, got that accomplishment. It encouraged me to continue on this songwriting journey.
Thank you. What advice do you have for emerging songwriters?
I think songwriting now is just extraordinary because the ability to collaborate, to engage, to develop a song from your bedroom, on your computer, on your iPad, on your phone, but then to be collaborating with people around the world who can add instruments or add vocals or instrumentation. I think that's extraordinary. So I think the opportunity for a songwriter now is to be open to that and to find their tribe as they're plying their craft, as they're devoting themselves to songwriting.
How can we best support you now?
Look, I think songwriting is one of those tasks that you've got to be motivated to get yourself out there, and so I'm really delighted to have this opportunity to speak to you, Stephanie. I think you having a chat to emerging and aspiring songwriters gives us an amazing opportunity to share our songs and to share with others the challenges and the opportunities that we face as we're all excited about this songwriting mission.
Thank you. So one final question, is there anything that you would like to add?
Well, I'm very excited to add that the name of the song that was successful for me with the John Lennon Songwriting Competition was Faith, Hope and Love. And I just love the fact that it aligns with your radio station and your program that you've put together, Stephanie. Faith, Hope and Love was inspired by, actually it was inspired a long time back with September 11. The attacks on America in 2001 in New York and Washington. And that kind of triggered globally a number of follow-up terrorist attacks around the world. There was Bali in Indonesia, close to Australia. There was London and Madrid, of course, in Spain. And I was raising young children at that point of time. And I think I was drawn to the fact that here we are in this terror that we can see on our TV. We don't know what the future will hold. We don't know where the next terrorist attack will be. We don't know the enormity or the scale of what could befall us. And yet the human spirit endures. People still marry. They still have children. They still plan for the future. They still focus on the future. And I just thought that was an incredibly powerful moment for me to reflect on why do we do that, and to me it was about faith, hope and love, and faith at a broader level, not one specific flavor of religion, but more a humanity of we do have faith in the future, we do have hope for better days, and we are driven by the love of family and friends around us.
Thank you, John. And thank you, everybody, for listening or watching. This interview will be on YouTube later today, Facebook tonight at 7, and also my LinkedIn at 7. Also, I will post it on the radio station, so if you would like to hear it, you can. Thank you, John, and we hope to speak to everybody soon. Take care.
That's very good of you, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Good day, everyone.
Bye.